It's time for our daily dose of cope, and we have the Honorable Reverend Leroy Leopard at the news anchor's desk for the Leopards News Network. There are so many stories to get to going into this weekend. Let's go ahead and take it away. People seem to love the tweet transitions with these MAGA supporters. So here we are highlighting You Can Do It. You Can Do It is congratulating MAGA GOP person Anna Paulina Luna, saying congratulations on her win. Now, back on November 5th, Barack Obama put out this tweet saying it took several days to count every ballot in 2020. It's very likely we won't know the outcome tonight either. So please keep a few things in mind as you make your voice heard today. So that was Barack Obama's tweet. You Can Do It says, eat a D. You Can Do It has a potty mouth. On a Kamala Harris post about the election, he told her, get the F out of here. You lost. #by Felicia. Those first set of tweets were in November. Now we're in May. And this is, once again, now it's Representative Anna Paulina Luna. And so she said reconciliation is passed. That means pending Senate approval, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, permanent Trump tax cuts for the working and middle class, tax relief for seniors, Social Security and Medicaid protected, promises made, promises kept. And You Can Do It says, not even a little bit. What about the promise of no tax on Social Security? The promise of eliminating the Doge findings of waste and fraud? Why are we continuing Biden's green initiatives and increasing our debt by $10 trillion? You are a lying. See you next Tuesday. So I told you, he has a potty mouth. MAGA Mike Johnson put out a tweet yesterday saying, passed, one big beautiful bill act. And then You Can Do It says, I hope you burn in hell. This person is really angry. Donald Trump put out a post about the one big beautiful bill. And to that, You Can Do It says, what happened to no tax on Social Security? Why does it continue the Biden green initiatives? How about the $10 trillion it adds to the national debt? I voted for you 3 times. I didn't vote for this BS. These people are mad. Okay, so that is You Can Do It. You saw that transition. We have another. Obviously, with this merch, this Trump hat, look at this hair, oh my goodness, and the t-shirt that says fight, fight, fight on November 5th. That was the tweet on November 5th, this picture. You can tell that this is a Trump supporter. These people are wild. The fact that they put so much of politicians on their body. Like, I don't know what it is about these people that want to wear Trump's name all over their body, but Trump is a masterful marketer. He really has these people wearing his name all over the place. On November 6th, Harry says, it's really depressing to see how many people voted for the felon, rapist, fraudster who lies constantly. Many Americans failed their fellow Americans tonight. And to that, this same person says, wah, wah, wah. So remember that Elon Musk went full-on schnazi at the inauguration, and Representative Naylor said, I never imagined we would see the day when what appears to be a HH salute would be made behind the presidential seal. So that's what he said on January 20th. And then that person, Locke, says, you're a sick F, and this is the reason you dirtbags have lost the country. Now, May 23rd, so Gunther posted 50% tariff on the EU because Donald Trump, and posted this screenshot from Donald Trump on his Lie Social page. He says on here, talking about the EU, which was formed for the primary purposes of taking advantage of the United States on trade, has been very difficult to deal with. Their powerful trade barriers, VAT taxes, ridiculous corporate penalties, non-monetary trade barriers, monetary manipulations, unfair and unjustified lawsuits against Americans, companies, and more have led to a trade deficit with the United States. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, I am recommending a straight 50% tariff on the EU starting on June 1st. Like literally everything that he does is all about tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. And so then Locke says, thank you for screwing over the stock market again. This man is so unbalanced and unserious. And then here's Locke talking directly to Trump, because Trump is boasting about the one big beautiful bill, saying, I voted for you and you're shoving it up my petunia. You just tanked the market again. You're costing good people who trusted you a ton of their retirement money. Stop being an effing idiot. I am so happy that these people are so upset. This post kind of made me laugh. This man, Alex Cole, asked Grok, which is Elon Musk, like Chat GPT or whatever, asked Grok, he says, who will be hurt more by the cuts in SNAP and Medicaid benefits, blue states or red states? So he asked Grok that. Here's the answer. Grok says, hey, cuts to SNAP and Medicaid will likely hit red states harder due to higher enrollment rates in places like Louisiana and Alabama, where poverty is more widespread. Up to 19% of people in some red states rely on SNAP, compared to the national average of 12%. Medicaid cuts could also sting more in red states, especially rural areas with fewer hospitals, like Mississippi or Tennessee. Blue states like California will feel it too, given their large populations, but their urban centers and state funds might cushion the blow. That is not definitive, but red states seem more vulnerable. Even before all of this big, beautiful BS or whatnot, rural hospitals were closing and losing money. Hospitals are not big money makers. And the thing is, they have been pushing away medical staff. They've been making sure that doctors run away, that nurses run away because of many of these policies that they have been putting in place. Those forced birther states, those states are having a harder time recruiting residents to come learn how to be doctors, because residents many times start to practice in those states. And people don't want to go to these states. These people are literally cutting off their neck to spite their head. Not even cutting off their nose. No, they're literally taking themselves out, and they don't know it, because they are forcing these medical professionals away. And then in certain places, they are getting their funding for research cut, which is going to continue to impact wider communities at large. What they are doing is so silly, and people are like, yeah, we own the libs. But now you won't be able to own anything. You're going to lose your house. You're going to lose your life. You might lose your hospital. So what you going to do? You're going to go to YouTube. Maybe you're going to get on some kind of Zoom call and figure out how to do some heart defibrillation or something like that. One of Trump's very first executive orders was to get rid of paper straws and bring back plastic straws, something that's really important, that's been on the forefront of most of our brains, not the economy, straws. Anyways, we talked about this man, Spinelli, this person. He was actually a Trump supporter, but with that executive order, it literally jacked up his own business. So we talked about this. He was featured in the Washington Post or something. All right, so this article headline says, Illinois paper straw business craters after Trump's push for plastic. Boss straw sales plunge 85% after Trump signed an executive order barring federal agencies from buying paper straws. So this man voted him in, and now his business is falling off a cliff. But these people still don't regret anything. They could lose their houses, they could lose their jobs, they could lose their whole businesses, but they'll be like, I don't regret anything because I totally believe in his message. And here is Guy Spinelli, the founder of Boss Straw, and he said of these machines, this is what he said in the first article that I read, these machines can't be repurposed to make anything else. He's going to fold and then have nothing that he could do, because he can't just start making notebooks or anything. These were specific for making straws, making paper straws. So this is titled, Die Hard MAGA Former Coworker is Worried About Rural Hospitals, but it's okay because this is Revelations, so it won't matter soon. Okay, so here's the Facebook post. It says, I'm hearing that if this budget bill passes, it'll stop a lot of funding to so many of the smaller, the more rural hospitals in our state, as well as do the same for the smaller hospitals across our country. That means you will begin seeing a lot of them closing their doors. Many people who live in these areas are on Medicaid, and they use Medicaid to pay for their hospital care bill. Not sure how true this is, but growing up in eastern Kentucky, there just isn't a lot of wealth in those areas. So if this is true, this could turn out to be really bad for a lot of folks. Anyone know anything about this? So this person says, I know you can stand back and look at the condition the country is in, and we are the world's tit. Okay, we are so far in debt that if they don't do something, you can kiss Social Security goodbye, and then there will be a chain reaction. If you believe we are living right in the book of Revelations, it won't matter in a few years anyway. So don't even worry about the hospitals closing, because it's all about to go up in smoke. That's what these people think. Anyways, face meet leopard.
of the United States is fucking lying. I think this whole administration has come